is David Sullivan, and I'm a network security and administration major.
My name is Alex Carbajal. I am a computer information systems major specializing in project management.
Morgan Brown, I'm a cyber operations major. I'm a 4+1 student working towards my information assurance master's.
My name is Albert Pavlinak, and I'm a digital arts and design major with a specialization in film and cinematic arts and with a minor in business administration.
The biggest difference is not having in-class classes, which is good for some classes like programming, where I already needed to look a lot of things up to understand it, but it made classes like math classes a lot more difficult because I'm a hands-on learner.
Biggest changes is classes, being online, not having that in-person professor to student experience. I like learning hands-on, asking questions in person. That was a big one. And then also with athletics, having to get your temp check every day, cleaning down equipment every chance that you get, making sure that you're keeping distance from not only like other athletes, but just students, and making sure that you're being safe and keeping that 6 foot distance, or maybe up to 12. Just trying to stay away from people.
I'd have to say there's this new form of isolation that just kind of hits from then and now. It's crazy.
The biggest differences from going to classes during the year of 2019 versus the year of 2020 is drastic. I mean, at the start of 2019, the fall semester, you didn't really think anything about, oh, what if I won't be able to go to classes and I have to do it online only, or the hybrid classes where some of them are online and some of them are in person. It was fairly normal for the first semester of 2019. And then when we hit 2020, halfway through the second semester, it went downhill pretty quick. It was kind of jarring at first. Well, going to online classes, I kind of thought, oh, this is going to be easy. I can just go and stay home and go to online classes and be fine. But it turned out that I was a lot more unproductive with my classes, and my grades started declining. And I figured, oh, everything will be fine when we get back to normal classes. Then when 2020 started with the fall semester, and I have 3 out of 5 classes that are online only, it has still been an unproductive time for me. I figure, oh, it'll be fine. I could just look at the texts later, or I could do the online quizzes later. I've missed multiple quizzes. I've missed multiple readings for textbooks. And I don't know, I just right now just really wish that we had all in-person classes.
I think actually coming out here was about the same. Going to in-class classes is a lot harder though, because there's the online option.
I'd say harder, but there's always difficulty with going to like a new semester with new classes and stuff. But like the fact that a lot of my classes were online and I like to learn in person was difficult for me. But and then I guess with the athletic thing, you're just having to constantly rethink the way we do things, the schedule, having to have separate meetings with separate different positions, and then having separate team meetings, all that kind of stuff. And then with classes, studying, I like to go to the library a lot, but can't do that. So I had to find our own, special secluded space in my house just to study in books, just to be in those books, just to be quiet for a little bit.
As much as I'd like to say it got easier, it got a lot harder. There's this all up in the airness of like timelines and everything. I used to be a very like, here's a calendar, get it done. Now it's like, there's a due date in a week or so, and I've become the physical embodiment of do tomorrow, do tomorrow. And it's just because there's no like teacher's glare keeping me responsible.
I feel like the hardest part between 2020 and 2019 is the motivation, or more so, the lack of motivation. Since I have 3 out of 5 classes that are online only, it's really hard to get me motivated to get to my on campus classes, especially with one of those classes being only twice a week. So that class and my other classes 3 times a week, it's really hard to go to those classes when for the other classes I could just sit at home and just pop in and read my texts or look at the videos for the chapter that day. So it's just really hard to get out there.
I prefer what we have now because the teachers in the spring, you could tell that, well, at least with me, a few of the teachers I had never taught online, and when they were filming their lectures or they were doing things like that, it wasn't the same quality as I was used to in class. But now it seems like they've got it down a lot more, and we have the option to go into class too.
I like the hybrid classes a lot more. That still gives me the chance to be with professors and ask questions that don't normally get asked, or if I'm confused on a subject. But I know when we moved into the spring, it was kind of difficult. We had professors that only taught in person, and the switch to online was difficult. Having to make sure that questions are answered very well. Like communication was always often kind of messed up, and then that right when they went to online, we're actually heading into spring ball the week after, and that didn't happen either. Having to reset basically everything was difficult, but it was an interesting experience.
Well, when DSU kicked over to all online in spring, I was at home with my folks, and it was a lot of just locking myself in my room, doing homework, not seeing the light of day until like 2 days later. But I'd say I appreciate the hybrid courses for the ability that I can actually reach out to a professor face to face when need be and get like an immediate conversation going instead of that 24 to 48 hour delay of email.
If I had a choice between the all online classes aspect versus the hybrid classes aspect, I would say that I would choose the all online only classes. And that's just because I think having the choice to either go on campus or have the online classes really just gives me like a lack of motivation. But if we had all online classes, I would go to every single class because, okay, I just got to pop into Zoom, go into class. But having the choice and having more classes being online than actually having it on campus is really kind of just hurting me. And I know I just need to be more productive and actually get myself to have the will to go to the classes. I know it's on me, but at the same time, that just doesn't help.
I think I would try and tell myself to find better studying methods or more things that I could do online and or in person, because going into the spring semester I was only really using tutors in person, so the transition to it all being online was kind of hard.
I'd say get ready to adapt. There's a lot of, like right now we're in a time where everything is changing. We're not being adaptive, especially in this circumstance, is great because not only will it help you adapt to like schedule changes or let's say in the future like deadline change and everything like that. That kind of stuff was really interesting to me, having to constantly go day by day because things get canceled at a moment's notice from games to assignments to exams getting pushed up, pushed back, and stuff like that. But other than that, just being adaptive is really biggest thing I can say.
Man, don't take the friends you have for granted. You're gonna see some hard times pop through, and you're gonna feel lonely and isolated. But just remember, it'll get better, and don't take that Tom class. You'll regret it.
If I had to go back to 2019 and tell my pre-COVID self any piece of advice, I would say stay on top of things and be productive. Don't try to think that because there's online classes only, that means you could just take the easy way and just, oh, I could just save that for later. Be on top of everything, stop procrastinating, and, just don't take things for granted. Right now, it's kind of crazy right now, and I mean really crazy right now. And I really wish we were back in the olden days of just being able to go out to a restaurant and not have to worry about a deadly disease. So don't take anything for granted.